Okay. It looks like it's just you and me, so we could get going, and if anybody else pop in, um, we'll just ask them the questions over again.
Okay, that's fine.
Oh goodness. Okay. See if I can advance the slide properly. Okay. Here are questions. So, what have been your experiences networking and job searching in today's environment?
Hmm. Um, are you are you gonna answer some of these too?
Yes, yes, I will. I will. I
Just
promise.
walk through, I guess. Okay. So I guess networking at least, I appreciate the opportunities these days to be able to do it like virtually and in person, like we're doing today. Like virtually just allows for me to kind of spread myself further, do more things, keep that balance between like for the consultant world, billable work, but also getting out there and meeting people and clients. But job searching, I mean, luckily I haven't had to get out there and search too much. It's mostly been, my networking has led to it,
Okay,
led to
that's
opportunities. Yeah.
helpful.
Yeah.
So, I guess to follow up, kind of how, what are you doing that your networking leads to jobs? What do you think, like, what's working for you?
Yeah. So I think continually networking, getting out there and talking with people on in a shared platform where I'm talking to people with people that I've also done work for, or
Mm-hmm.
served. So, I kind of have that client testimony or what would be like a referral almost in the normal job process. But Delaware, luckily, is such a small environment that if you're dealing within the realm of the public sector, a lot of people know each other. There's a lot of opportunity to overlap areas, and I think bring in an enthusiasm to networking and just showing your interest in stuff helps people to take notice in you.
Yeah, that makes sense. So, I notice, like, when I'm around you, you're very engaged with other people in the networking events. And I don't know. I don't know if you're an introvert or an extrovert, but I am very introverted. So when I go into a group environment, I'm like, please go away, leave me alone. I want to drink my Moscow Mule and not say anything. But that's not what's gonna help me. I think network and get to know people.
Yeah,
And like when I do work for people, it's good work. But like I don't engage unless I really know somebody a lot yet. You know what I mean?
it's fair, and that's a yeah, it's definitely a challenge to get comfortable with people. Um, it definitely helps once you are able to make those one or two first connections, or if you find someone um, that you can kind of latch on to who is
Right.
really well.
Yeah. Well, that's what I've kind of been doing with like Anne Marie. I just latch on
Exactly.
to Anne Marie, and she just like carries me through.
And it's also, I mean, it's hard to balance kind of the personal versus the business. But as you get more into things, you realize that most people out there are genuine and they're real, and they have a whole life outside of the work stuff, and they enjoy engaging on that and talking on that too. And you can kind of find a common spot there. It makes it a little
Right.
bit easier to get into the stuff where they're smarter than you or they've had more experience than you. You may not feel as comfortable about talking on.
That makes sense. Yeah. Wonderful. So I guess for me, my experience is networking and job searching. Well, I picked the local government management fellow partly because it didn't require a lot of networking to go somewhere. It
Sure.
was kind of you did your networking was done for you. Um, and I liked that because I never bothered with anybody unless I knew they were giving me an interview. So that was kind of nice. But I think in the future, I'm really gonna have to step up how outgoing I am with just like searching for jobs, connecting with people, just in general, being out more outgoing. Because I'm real funny when I know people, but until I know
Yeah.
somebody, I'm like really quiet. So,
It, I like the opportunities that have an activity attached to it. Like
mm,
pre-COVID times, APA Delaware had a lot of really good activities where we were going out to we went to one of the distilleries and had a
mm,
conversation with the mayor in that town. But the first half of it was doing a tour of a distillery. So it wasn't just talking. We got to actually, get some stuff. And then we had conversations that were a little bit easier afterwards because we talked about the tour and what we had seen. There wasn't as much of that small talk.
that makes sense. Yeah.
Because yeah, those like open networking are really intimidating. And to be quite honest, the first couple years that I went to them, I would show up like three-quarters of the way through the networking because
Mm,
I wasn't as good at it. I didn't want to make small talk to these people that I didn't know. Most other people
right.
knew each other, and it does just take a little time. So if you can find opportunities or volunteer kind of things, I think APA is doing like a historic walking tour in Dover at the end
Mm,
of the month.
that sounds fun.
Stuff like that. Yeah, is good to meet people.
Yeah, that sounds fun. That's cool.
Hmm.
So, I guess moving on to the next question, how has COVID impacted your experiences as a student or young professional for jobs and contacts? And another person just came and left. Hmm, I'm a little confused as to why they're coming and leaving.
I don't know. Maybe maybe they don't want to be on camera or something. I don't know.
Maybe, who knows? I mean, they could just talk. That's fine. Or they could talk in the chat.
Yeah. Oh.
Eh,
Um.
I didn't honestly. I did not expect this to be particularly well attended, but I was like, I'll do it. So I mean, it's fun to chat, right?
Yeah. I mean, and maybe some people will view it and come back. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? All right, sorry. So
Uh,
go ahead. How has COVID impacted your experiences as a student or young professional for jobs and contacts?
yeah, I mean, COVID was really hard at the beginning.
Hmm.
So I switched jobs like many people during COVID. Towards the so last October is when I started a new position, and I the first or that 18-month period probably from March 2020 until September 21 was really difficult because a lot of social networks were taken away, and especially from the workplace. And I know where I previously was, engagement was a really big challenge. It was really difficult and wasn't really happening throughout COVID. Um, but now the place that I'm working with, we use a lot of technology. We have teams across two different states that are constantly working together. And it's seamless.
Okay. Well, that's really good. I think the fact that um, the whole world is kind of adjusted to COVID and is kind of like moving on and doing life, and maybe you have to wear a mask or get the vaccine, but you you can you can still make things work. I know I went to a virtual ICMA conference, and that was really fun because I wouldn't have been able to go if it hadn't been virtual. Um,
Right.
right,
Yeah.
and I got it for free because it was virtual, and I was a student at the time, and
Oh, good.
and I was also busy. I had health problems and stuff, so I was like in the doctor's office with my little phone, playing the sessions, listening. So, um, I think
We adapt.
right, the whole environment is different now. I think,
Yeah.
and it's okay. Like, I think it's really funny how people are like, "Oh, don't eat your lunch on Zoom. That's rude." But then, like, everybody still eats their lunch on Zoom. So now nobody would like do a working lunch unless you specifically were like, "I need like this is a lunch meeting." You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Is
we're
that
ordering
making
lunch.
sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. What about you? Because when did you start with Lewis?
I started with Lewis and Milford in June of last year.
June. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. So you kind of came in, and then Delta
right. I
kind of
came
came back.
in right before Delta hit. Yeah. Um. Well, I do know. So I originally been accepted. I was accepted to the fellowship program in 2020, but you'll notice I didn't get one until 2021. And they're nice and they let you
Oh,
renew for a year without having to go through the application process again. Um,
okay.
but when I was in the not application, the interview process in 2020, I had multiple communities that I was talking to contact me and tell me that they were no longer hiring. So, like,
Hmm.
and I was one of them I desperately wanted a job with. It was in Virginia, and I really, really wanted that job. And they called me and they were like, "I'm sorry, we're not hiring anymore because of COVID." And I was like, "Ah, okay." So, and it all, of course, it worked out perfectly. But um, that kind of hit me because I was coming out of grad school right as 2020 hit. My last semester was spring of 2020. So it's been rough, but I think COVID really afforded me the chance because I had health issues, and it afforded me the chance to relax a little bit and handle my health issues. And then when I was better, I went back to the job search, and it worked for me that time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. That's good. At least there was some silver lining. Yeah.
Right. Well, And I think that's how it was for a lot of people. But I think things tend to work out. You know, you just keep trying until it works, and it did work out. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, it's true.
I think where you're meant to be will happen. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, what are some of your key takeaways from the last year? Not like if they could relate to COVID, but not necessarily like where you're at um, in your professional development in your career. What are your key takeaways?
Sure. I think I'm getting at the point in my career where my key thing I need to focus on is prioritizing,
Hmm.
and finding that balance between taking on too much, and doing work to a good degree, balancing my family and balancing, giving back to the community as well. So,
Hmm.
yeah, that's my big thing that now I'm trying to transition and feel like I can become proficient in that, but I don't know if anyone ever really gets a hold of that completely.
Right, and I think our work culture in general does not support um, that kind of balance a whole lot. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
I think it's
Yeah.
very much you're rewarded if you do too much work, basically. Um, and it's hard to manage, especially like people our age um, are starting to want more work life balance. They want different things than older generations wanted. They're not fulfilled with work. They're fulfilled with work in balance with other things. So I think that's a big
Yeah.
paradigm shift.
And burnout. I think, with the pandemic, a lot of us suffered from burnout.
Hmm.
And so we could see, okay, these are the signs. And now that I'm kind of finally getting out of that and getting to a healthier place, this is what I know to look for next time and what kind of things help to keep that in balance,
Right,
taking breaks, having good networking opportunities like this. For me, keeping in the big picture of the work I'm doing is important for me and
right,
feeling connected, fulfilled.
for sure. And I think hopefully our generation can be a healthier generation, just in general, mentally, socially, hopefully physically. Um,
Yeah,
so, what are your goals for the next year, and what do you need to complete them?
sure. I'll take a little and then you can answer too.
Okay.
My I want to get my AICP certification
Mm,
over the next year. So yeah, that's my big goal, and it's a lot. So I've been studying. Hopefully, I'll pass the test and get my essay completed. I've got the experience needed now. Um, so now I just got to go pass my test.
that's a big one. That's well, yeah.
Yeah.
I was looking at the AICP textbooks that you study, and I don't know how I could do it.
I know. And the further you get away from like being out of grad school, the harder it is to study. It's just
Oh gosh, I'm already at the point where I'm like, I do not want to study. I
I
do
know.
not.
Yeah.
Like my boyfriend's still in school, and I'm like, no, thank
Mm.
you, no thanks.
When you stop, yeah, it's hard to go
It's
back.
really hard to go back.
So,
Yeah. So
what about you? What are your goals?
my goals, I think, well, I want to have a permanent job that I know I'm going into in a year to a year and 3 months. That's what I really want to focus on, and it's kind of a long time frame for that. But I'm already like
Mhm.
I'm trying to pick where I want to go, and I'm trying to figure out, do I want to be in Delaware? Do I want to be in Virginia? Do I want to be somewhere else? Do I want to try and get my current employers to hire me full time? What do I want to do? And so I'm just trying to figure all that out. Figure out. I'm hoping the job market stays okay while I'm for the next year, please.
Mhm.
So that's kind of where I'm at. I feel a little unsafe with a job that's only temporary.
Yeah, fair. Totally
And
fair.
and I
But
it's a really good experience. I wouldn't have it any other way. If it was between not having a job and or even having a different job that was full time and not getting this experience, I would choose this. It's just my focus is on staying afloat as well.
yeah. Well, and it gives you that opportunity to live in a different place than you maybe would have ever entertained before, knowing that it could be just temporary.
Right. And then
Yeah.
you start liking it, you start making connections. You're like, huh, it might be easy to get a job here, or easier.
Yeah.
Especially because
Yeah.
everyone knows Anne Marie. So Anne Marie's always introducing me to people. It's great.
It's true. You start making those connections, and I didn't think I would be in Delaware long term, but yeah, I just started making connections in grad school and kept me here.
Yeah, so where are you from originally?
Originally, I'm from Kentucky, and
Okay.
then I did my undergraduate at George Mason.
Right, I knew that about you. And
Yeah.
then you did
So
your graduate at UD, right? Is that correct or no?
grad school. Yep. I in between I did a year of AmeriCorps. I went like
Okay.
back out to the Midwest, did a year of service,
I feel
missed
like
the
I
East
knew all those things about you and I just had momentary brain farts, so I apologize.
Coast. No worries. No worries.
So, yeah, connections are important. So, what skills have you found to be integral to achieving your career goals thus far?
Communication.
Hmm.
So yeah, when I was in undergrad, I did competitive public speaking.
Hmm.
And I actually really started it in high school, and continued, to do it on a competitive level. So yeah, those skills have really, for me, helped me, to do public workshops, to do presentations to city council, to feel comfortable at networking events. Um, it's one of those things that, I've given hundreds of speeches, but I still feel nervous every time. You still get some anxiety and stuff, but you know how to channel it better.
Yeah, I'm trying to hang on just a second. I'm trying to get this person to be live.
Oh yeah.
How did she do that? I don't know. I don't know why this isn't working. Um, I'm working on it, Stephanie, just so you know. I'm trying. Sorry, Savannah. I
Oh, you're
muted
fine.
webcams to see if I can undo it. I don't know why, but it just won't want me to do it. Well, Stephanie, if you'd like to participate, feel free to participate in the chat. I apologize for the difficulty I'm having allowing you to speak. Um, and if you want to type in the chat, I'll read out what you're saying so that we can have an actual conversation with you and not leave you out. I'm still trying to get this to work. It might be, Savannah, it might be because you're a speaker, but I thought I set it up so that anybody could have their webcams on.
Yeah. Hmm.
Okay, so I guess, where were we? What skills have you found to be integral in achieving your career goals thus far?
And I had said communication.
Oh, you're right.
What about you?
For me, oof, I think writing has been a big deal for me, like being able to write well. Um, because I've produced so many reports and briefs and memos. It's just been so many. So I think being able to do that quickly and effectively is um, helpful and important. And I think also communication, except I'm not good at it. I tend to miscommunicate with people, or I tend to be like a little snappy with people. Like in email, I'll sound snappy, and then they don't respond well, and then I'm like, why didn't you respond well? Well, it's because I sounded snappy, but I didn't mean to be. I did. So like, I'm kind of that's something I'm working on right now is having to work on my communication and recognize that my communication isn't always effective and kind of trying to repair that some. So
Sure. And
that's
knowing, I mean, yeah, there's some people that you can talk to a certain way and others you can't.
yeah, even like yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just I kind of sometimes I wish I'd like minored in communication, but even then I'm not sure it would have taught me to be smart when I talk. So, and then the last one I guess we have is what skills do you need that you don't have yet to complete your career goals? And that kind of goes with like, what are your goals?
Yeah. Um Focus. My like weakness really is focus and attention. Sometimes I can just be like totally scatterbrained and sometimes need someone to just bring me back down and someone to keep, I guess management skills would probably be what I need to work on.
I feel that. I feel that. I get scattered too. There's this word that I learned recently. It's my new favorite word. It's spuddling.
Spot on.
Yes, and it means doing lots of work and getting nothing done.
Yeah, yeah, that happens many
Right.
days.
And that happens to me off. Oh, she's live. Oh my gosh. How did that happen?
Sorry, I've been like so late and I ended up answering a work call. So like I missed everything.
Oh no, you're good. We can like run through and hear your perspectives on things too. No, you're good. I guess I'll just like finish what I was saying, and then we'll ask you the questions. Is that good, Stephanie?
Sure. I mean, well, and that's the thing is like I feel like I'm young, but then I'm like maybe I'm not really young.
Hey, this is for anybody.
But I didn't like any of the other topics that were at this time, so
That's fair. Um, I thought, yeah, I'm looking at the lineup. I mean, the Energy Bus one is cool. That's a good book. I liked it. So, but anyway, I guess I was saying sputtling. Yes, that's what I was saying. It's really hard to get things done, and I find myself sputtling all the time. And just
yeah.
like going, especially if I'm really stressed, I'm like just sitting there like vibrating the entire time, and it just doesn't work out for me. What about you, Stephanie? What skills do you have that you don't? What skills do you need that you don't have yet to complete your career goals?
Um hmm. And that's what it's like. I've been with my company for 23 years. Um I mean, I guess I never got a college degree. So, I mean, that's something that, you know, I've always thought about doing. And I'm sorry, of course, my husband's home and he decides he's going to start blowing leaves in the background. Um, so it might hear some feedback. Um, but I mean, and then it's like, so if I go to college though, then I'm putting myself into debt, kind of in a way, is what I look at it too. So I just try to do skills through seminars like this, and our county executive, the new HR department has been like offering a lot more classes, to help
What?
build on those skills. So I've been really impressed with that.
That's
Um,
helpful. Yeah, for sure.
so
I guess
where do you guys work? What do you do? I'm sorry if I missed that.
no, you're good. Oh yeah, we didn't introduce ourselves because we already knew each other. Sorry, Stephanie. I'm Melody Barger. I'm a ICMA Local Government Management Fellow for the cities of Lewis and Milford in Delaware. But yeah. What about you, Savannah?
Yeah, I'm Savannah Edwards. I'm an associate planner for Rossi Group. It's a minority woman-owned business consulting firm. So they used to focus mostly on transportation, but we've expanded into a lot more long-range planning kind of stuff. And I mostly work with Delaware clients, but also Maryland.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so Stephanie Rizzo, I work for Newcastle County government. And so I'm in the affordable housing arena, kind of. So I administer affordable housing programs.
Okay,
Cool.
So,
wonderful.
yeah.
I live in Wilmington, so
Oh,
Newcastle
wonderful.
County. Not in the city, but just like 1 mile out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in the county.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Right.
There we
Um,
go.
and I'm
Yeah.
really sorry. My husband does this to me every time, like around 3:30 or so.
It's fine. I can barely hear it, so it's not a big deal. Um, so I guess what have your experiences been networking and job searching in today's environment?
um, well, I guess I've looked for maybe part-time jobs here and there. And so I've noticed everything's virtual, everything is electronic. Um, you know, I there's a lot of people that are looking for workers. I think the
Mhm.
problem is the state is going through right now that they can't fill any positions because they're not offering, like, good wages.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I was looking, my boyfriend's looking to move to Delaware, and we were looking at the state positions, and he didn't want any of them because they were all, super low for his qualifications. I was like, that doesn't make any sense. Whereas the local governments are offering, like $60,000 for something.
Mm-hmm.
The state's offering 30.
Yeah. Yeah. And you need to have a college degree. And it's like,
Right.
so you have to have a college degree to make $30,000 a year. I don't know.
Right.
Um,
Yeah. Well,
so
even
that's
they
what
had
I've
a
heard.
management analyst 2 position open too. And I was looking at it, and it was a good $7,000 less than I make now, and
Mhm.
I'm 2 steps below that position. So,
Right. Yeah, it's
and
crazy.
yeah, so I don't know what they're gonna do, what the state's gonna do. I mean, they have to do a pay study or something. So, how how has COVID not acted, your experiences, looking for jobs or looking for networking contacts, that sort of thing?
Well, I mean, I guess everybody is behind a computer now. Um,
Yeah, yeah, like we are now.
right?
Speaking of behind a computer,
I know. It's like, I don't know how, for some reason, my webcam is saying it's disabled, but my
let me
my
um,
microphone is on.
let me unpromote you and promote you again. Hold on a second. All right, try to come back. Like, try to turn on your live again. Did I mess it up? No, she left.
Oh, no.
Oh, there she is. Can you make it work, Stephanie? I don't know what she did to get it to work before.
Yeah, I don't know. Doesn't look muted. But
Oh, there she is.
Yeah, I had to reload my page. So hi.
hi.
Um, I will also say with COVID, what I've noticed is like when we have meetings and people before COVID, when they'd have to show up in person, the turnout wasn't as great. And then now, because of
Yeah.
COVID, we've had like a lot more response and attendees to our meetings. So it's kind of like, okay, well, maybe we should kind of, provide a virtual option for people too.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we just hired someone new for one of our offices. And it was nice to be able to do like a virtual meet and greet, to get to
Mhm.
meet, like once they had gotten through a couple rounds of interviews and, the managers had wanted to extend an offer so they could, meet more of the employees. And that's something that pre-COVID times, I don't know if anyone would have thought of an option. They're not
Right.
going to drive out multiple hours for a meet and greet, but
Right.
I
easy
did
enough
that.
to get everyone on Teams.
I actually did drive out multiple hours for a meet and greet.
Aw.
Well, fellowship program, yeah. I mean, certain
That's fair. That's fair.
things.
So, like, are we in a breakout room or is this it? This is just,
No, this is it.
wow, really?
And
Yeah.
Melody and I already so we like the two of us, we just kind of been talking.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I ended up answering a phone for work and I was like, why did I do that? during the last break, and they kept me on there for a long time. So then I hopped on. So, and then I thought, oh, we must be in breakout rooms.
No, this is it.
So you two are the presenters?
Just
Technically,
Melody.
I'm the presenter.
Oh, okay.
And Savannah is a participant. She presented at another session, though.
Okay. Yeah, I forget what the other meetings were, but I was like,
The state
Yeah.
auditor.
yeah, no, thanks.
And yeah, employee engagement.
Yeah,
Managed people, but
I wasn't too interested in the state auditor at all.
I guess everybody's excited about employee engagement.
yeah, probably.
That's what I was like. I'm not really a young, I'll be 44 this year, but young at heart.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, what are your goals for the next year, and what do you need to complete them?
Well, working in the housing market, when COVID first happened, I was like, oh yeah, I can like catch up on everything because we're going to be working from home and it's going to be slow. But the housing market literally exploded. And then it was like, I probably had more applications for our housing program, in 2020, and then in 2021, it's just been crazy. So now we're finally starting to get a little breather. So I'm hoping to catch up on all of the stuff that I haven't been able to do, like annual reports. We need to update policies and procedures, things like that. So I'm finally, it's like, I don't know if this is like the calm before another storm or, but,
Yeah.
so that's what I need to do. And then, I'll just need input.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. What about you?
Well, my goal is to get a stable, more permanent job. I say permanent with quotation marks. Because I'm doing a fellowship right now, so I kind of it's gonna end in a year and like 3 months. So at that point, I really want to have something more permanent to go right into. I really, really, really don't want to be unemployed. So
Yeah.
that's kind of where
You're
I'm at right now.
downstate?
I'm sorry?
You're downstate mostly?
Yes, downstate. Yeah, in Milford and Lewis.
Okay.
So yeah. But I'm open to work anywhere in the state pretty much. So just be looking. And then
Well, Newcastle County pays well.
that's
A lot
good.
better than the state. Mm-hmm.
That's good. Yeah. Well, I'll have to take a peek at what they have to offer.
Yeah.
I live in Milford right now, so I'm like right in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Close to here.
Yeah.
And a lot more rental opportunities.
Yes.
Yeah.
So much easier to find housing up here.
Oh my
It's expensive though up here.
Everywhere.
Crazy.
I mean, yeah.
It's expensive everywhere.
Yeah.
Well, that's like our program is affordable housing, but it's for new construction. So it's kind of like, so for the new construction, they have to have a certain amount of units that meet, afford, income qualifications. So only people that income qualify. But it's like you're still paying maybe $1,200, $1,400 for a 1-bedroom apartment, or houses for rent are probably going to be around $1,600 a month.
Right.
So people are like, affordable, and I'm like, I know
It's
affordable, but it's crazy because Emblem at Christiana is an apartment complex that has some of our affordable units there. So yeah, their 1-bedroom affordable through our program is $1,400, but people coming in off the street, that aren't in our program, they're paying $1,700 a month for a 1-bedroom apartment there. Like, it's just crazy
That's a
to me.
little excessive, if you ask.
Yeah, I just can't believe it. Like, I'm like, but
I don't know what it is now, but the one that floored me when it first opened was the Concord over on 202.
oh,
I think they had like 2-bedroom apartments for $2,800. I was just like, who in the world can afford that? Like,
crazy.
I'm feeling grateful for my rent right now.
Yeah. So that's the only thing.
Yeah.
Come up with Newcastle. But yeah, the state of Delaware is like, so I'm hoping that will change, because in the budget hearings, the senator, the state legislatures are giving the departments a hard time, and it's like, we can't hire anyone because our wages are so low. So hopefully they'll do something about it. But
Yeah.
the county even raised all of their, Newcastle County raised all of their part-time employees. So it's like, they're going to make $18 an hour, which is good.
Right.
It scares me for the young professionals just getting out of college. Like, how are you supposed to
afford,
live?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Or build equity, invest in property, any of that kind of. I mean, yeah, they're tough challenges for young people these days.
For sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
But like you, Melody, though, I fellowship programs, I had looked at doing the ICMA fellowship as well. And I know the biggest draw to me was that it was 1 year, so that I could take that time when I am young before starting a family to explore, do I like different places, or could I see myself living, in a different state, in a different area? Do I fit into city management? I mean, it's a good opportunity for you to explore and to be able to work with 2 towns.
Oh yeah, to work with 2 towns is a big deal for me, I think, because I've gotten to see 2 completely different organizational cultures, and I like one more than the other. I won't say which, but neither are bad, but they're just so different. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and most people don't get that exposure.
Right, exactly. You either get one you really like and you think they're all like that, or you get one you really don't like and you think they're all like that. So, anyway, well, we have about 5-10 minutes left if we would like. We can continue to chat if you'd like, or we can wrap up. How is everybody feeling?
I probably need to jump out and shift gears. I got some people pinging me on Teams.
Yeah, and my little guy just got home, so he's going to be...
All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and finish this session out. Thank you all so much for coming. It was great talking to both of you, and hi, Marianne.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Melody.
Have a good afternoon. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.